All right, everyone. Again, it's Ben Savage with Mission Control. Really appreciate everybody being here. We'll go ahead and get started with the webinar today. And a little bit about doing some quick introductions to cover. Again, I've been with Mission Control as an account executive going on 3 years. Spent about 5 years in the Salesforce ecosystem, and I'm a certified admin. And one of my things I really enjoy about my job is just day in, day out, getting to help out people within the space of project management and to demonstrate our solution. And often there's a really good fit there. So as far as the agenda goes, taking a look, we'll be covering today, we're going to take a look at we covered off introductions. We'll also take a look at a mission control overview. Then we'll step into the actual demo and have some demo time. If you have any questions, you're welcome to put them in the chat in Zoom, and then I'll handle all those questions at the end. We'll certainly allow some time there. And then finally, we'll end with how to get started with mission controls. So you'll be able to see that. But again, I really appreciate everybody's time today. So thanks. So as far as mission control, these are some of our basic project metrics within here. Clients that are using mission control, those clients are located in over 25 countries, and then the different industries that we serve. So mission control is built natively on top of Salesforce. So the same way that you can customize Salesforce, you can also customize mission control, meaning you can add in any type of custom fields, you can modify page layouts, you can build out your own business logic with things like validation rules, workflow rules, process builders, etc. Additional benefits include that any type of analysis you've got to do on your project data, you're going to be able to leverage standard Salesforce reports and dashboard tools to do that. You can even access all of your mission control data on the go from the Salesforce One mobile app. No integrations required. Everything's going to be contained in your own instance of Salesforce. The install and setup just takes a couple of minutes from the App Exchange, and the interface is going to be familiar since we're natively built. We also, just to mention, we support Classic and Lightning Experience. So in order to access mission control, you do need a mission control license. You also need a Salesforce license. These are the different Salesforce licenses that are supported below. So I'm going to put up, essentially, this is what you're looking at right here. This is mission control in one slide. So know that when you start out with mission control, you can certainly scale up or scale down the application as needed. And you're going to have two primary ways that you can do that. One is going to be when you're setting up the roles. You can do it through there. We also have some out-of-the-box permission sets that also can be applied. And you can find those from our website underneath the knowledge base. So we'll be going through these, and then we'll get into some specifics as far as who might use it, one from a project manager standpoint, and then taking a look from a management standpoint and what that might look like. So we start off within resource management. We can handle both your billing and your cost rates for individual resources. They can be a part of teams. They can be assigned multiple skills that you will build out a pick list to assign to those individual roles. You also have a scheduler, and the scheduler is going to be your resource capacity planning tool. I'll be showing that a little bit later, but essentially you get a calendar view of all your resources and all the work that's been assigned from actions within projects, and that's automatically shown through that scheduler. You also have access to a resource assignment wizard, a reassignment wizard, a role utilization report, which shows billable performance on a week-to-week basis, as well as access into holiday management. Then underneath project management, you have several different ways where you can initiate a project. You can auto-generate it from a closed-won opportunity. You can also do that, auto-generate it through the products method. You've got project requests, which can show you upcoming projects and will allow you to see both through the scheduler or the role utilization report the impact on your team of any upcoming projects. And then you also have the ability to clone a project, milestone, or leverage the milestone loader. And then underneath management, we can handle that in a couple of ways as far as we've got the ability to handle both agile and waterfall methodology. You've got a project overview, which will give you a 360-degree view of one particular project. We also have a Kanban whiteboard, which is going to show you all your actions as if they were sticky notes on a whiteboard in your office, and you can drag and drop to record your progress there. Also looking at it, we've got a Gantt chart that has baseline tracking complete with dependencies, and you're also able to identify critical path. We can handle both risk and issue management within the project. And then we've got a PMO dashboard, which shows your cost and schedule performance index within the project. And then you can also have project stakeholders within each project as well. For time tracking, we can handle both billable and non-billable work. We've got a start and stop tracker. We have timesheets where the individual can log in and log time against their actions that they're working on. We also have timesheet approvals, and a calendar converter is going to give your users a few additional ways to log time within the system. Underneath financials, we can handle revenue, costs, your P&L. You've got budget management within your project. You also have the ability to handle any type of purchase orders, expense tracking, expense approval. You can issue an invoice as well as a credit. You can record payment back against that project. And then we have revenue recognition, and we have multi-currency support as well. And then under program management, you can build out a long-term roadmap of work that needs to be delivered, leveraging those requirements in building out detailed user stories, accessing and using the storyboard, then building out your individual projects within that work using our project builder, accessing program analytics. And again, we have the Gantt chart and the whiteboard in there. And then for collaboration wise, we have access, you'll have access through chatter throughout the platform. So you're able to go and be able to communicate with team members. We have a meeting manager where you're able to handle any type of meeting information as far as if you needed to document a meeting and then log time against a project, you can do that directly through the meeting manager. You've got the ability to attach files within the project. And then we have a weekly project status report, and that actually ties back in here to the project stakeholders. And the idea there is that each week you can choose the day and the time you want this to send out. You build out key stakeholders on each project, and then it'll automatically send that weekly project status report. I will mention they don't have to be users of Mission Control or even Salesforce. So that could be often it's a client-facing status report that you want to be sent out, but it also could be used internally. Either way, they just don't need a license to do that. As well as a read-only page, that on each project, you can create a read-only page, and you're able to share that with any of your clients, and they can have access, read-only access into the project. For productivity tools, we've talked through everything with the exception of the action pad. So the action pad is going to exist on both the project level and also through our progress pad in the main console of Mission Control. That's going to be a great space where users can jump in. They can see all of their actions across either a single project or through the progress pad going in through the main console. They'd be able to see all their actions across all of their projects. So again, this is Mission Control in one slide. All right, so next we'll be taking a look as far as demo time. And so I'm going to handle this in two ways. The first part of this, we'll be taking a look at it as if we were a project manager. So we're going to take a look at project creation, what that might look like as far as auto generation from opportunity. Opportunity is closed won. That's going to trigger a project based on a template. We'll be able to see that. Then we'll take a look at what that project overview looks like. If I'm a project manager and need to work, we'll be leveraging the resource assignment. I'll take a look at the action pad to see that upcoming work that I might need to deliver. And then we'll be looking through the whiteboard, the Gantt chart, and billing. So all of that from a project management viewpoint or from a project manager's viewpoint. The same when I access the scheduler, the standalone Gantt chart, and the timesheet. So all of that will be related to the project manager. Then I'm going to switch hats and I'm going to look at from a management view, my dashboards and my reporting. So we'll be taking a look at the PMO dashboard. That's going to show you your cost and schedule performance index in there. You've got your revenue recognition. It's going to show you the revenue and the financials from the project, and the role utilization will show you the billable performance within this individuals as well as teams. And then finally, we'll just open it up to any questions that get put into the chat. Certainly handle those, and then we'll go from there. So we will dive in and get started. So this is what it's going to look like when you're going to come into mission control. And again, we're going to start with the opportunity, and in here we've got this list view. So I can come into this level up digital. In this opportunity down here, this project auto generation setting, that's the part of mission control. There's going to be a couple of ways that we'll need to go ahead and get this set up, but you have two generation methods. I had mentioned both opportunity and products. Opportunity is going to look back to an entire project and clone that, and it can either be a previous project or it can also be a template. So you have the ability to do either way. So in this case, we're just going to clone the principal technology website. I'm able to put in my start date. We'll put that in as the 29th, and then we're going to generate the project. If I were to tie that into opportunities, it associates opportunity, or excuse me, if I were to change the generation method to products, it's going to associate products with milestones and create more of a customized project for you. So you've got that. But left on opportunity, here we're saying in here my close dates today. I'm changing the stage from needs analysis to closed one. And now once we save it, it's going to automatically create a project based on this principal technology website. Here's our project. Now you can click into that and it would be ready for your project manager to go ahead and start working from there. So that's going to be one way that if I was a project manager, I might receive the work from that closed one opportunity. Then I'm going to come into the project. So as a project manager, I'm going to look and I'm going to see, I have my project name up here. I can see through as far as any completed actions I have, any overdue actions within this project that I might be responsible for. So I've got the ability to come in through here and I can see the different areas within here. So I've got within each of these, on the highest level, we have our project. Underneath, we have our milestones. And then underneath there, you have your actions, and underneath actions, set any type of checklist items. So we're looking at this. I have my action name as design UI. I can see that Chris is the action owner, what the status, the start and the end date might be. And then it's going to give me an hour summary. So you really have some detailed information in here. Now, let's say that Chris is since he's the owner of this action, we might need to have an additional person help deliver some work within here. You can certainly leverage this button right here. This is going to be your resource assignment wizard. So I may be working on this. We've already got a couple assigned in here, but let's say that we need to add one more person on to help deliver this work. So Chris is my action owner, and just for your reference, action is going to be the same thing as a task within Salesforce. I have Kim as a contributor, but let's say I need to pull in an additional contributor. So I'm going to pull in Jeremy, and we're going to assign Jeremy an hour and a half worth of work. In this case, we add it. You'll notice it takes that time off of Chris and reassigns it to Jeremy and also Kim. Now, there's going to be a couple of other ways within the resource assignment wizard that you can also sort and find relevant resources to help assist on the delivery of this action. One, you can set up your own pick list of teams. So I'm going to say easy websites team. You can also set up your own pick list of skills, so you can build that out. And finally, you have skill proficiencies. So 1 is basic, and then 5 is advanced. So you really can get granular within here. And then I'm going to be able to look out within the scheduler, and that goes off and searches based on that project data. Now I can click into each one of these, and I can see both your billable, your non-billable, any holidays that might be associated with that resource, and then I would be able to simply add those over here. Once that's done, you just click save, and then you're able to hover over and see exactly who's delivering what on that action. So we really try and make it easy, both from the perspective of the action owner and then also the contributors that are working on the actions within the project. The other thing that I always like to point out when I'm in here on the project overview right here is the fact that we've got a milestone loader. That's going to be this load button right here on the right. When you access it, you can either look back to a previous project. You could also search if you have any templates in here. So I could go back to this products template. And if I needed to add some additional, let's say that we're building out this website, but they wanted to add some conversion marketing, I would be able to do that. And when I check that off, that's going to pull in the milestone of conversion marketing. It's going to pull any actions underneath there, any action owners, and then I can check off for any contributors and checklist items that might need it to be added. And then I would just go off and select when I want that to be added. We'll say that's going to be a few months later. And then you just hit load milestone. That's going to add it directly within the project. You can see it down here. So a quick and easy way to build out your project based on either a template or a previous project directly within here. So certainly as a project manager, I could leverage all of that. As a project manager, next, I may want to jump into my action pad if I'm working on a particular day and see what's going on. I can see these summary charts up at the top, so I can hover, I can see what's complete, what might be incomplete that I would need to work on. Do I have any overdue actions? And then my hours summary as well as a checklist summary. So down here, it's going to be a list of any work that needs to be completed. And the easiest way to describe it is if I know that somebody has completed it or it's my responsibility, then I could just simply go through here and check that off. And that's going to log that as complete within, as the action is complete directly within that summary chart right there. Now, explaining a little bit more, if I wanted to get some action detail around here, let's scroll down a little bit. We'll take a look at this build as far as, or excuse me, we'll take a look at the deliver training. I can click directly onto that action and then just open up the action detail. So within here, you've got the ability to communicate with team members from Chatter. So if I needed to mention anybody to have a conversation there, you also have some detail around this action that you can set up and really get detailed around there. So you can set up by action type if we knew what type this was. As far as an action, then you would have that. We could set the priority, different things throughout here. Once you've filled out your action details, you're going to be able to do some other functionality. Again, you can access that resource assignment wizard. I can also log time directly from the action. If I have an issue, I can open up and leverage the issue manager, and I can also build out a checklist directly from here. So again, you have a lot of functionality as a user, as a project manager. I may be in here. I can leverage this action pad to help deliver the work that I'm working on. So from the action pad, we're going to take a look over next at what it might look like from our whiteboard. The whiteboard, as I previously mentioned, the easiest way to describe it, think of all the actions as if they're sticky notes from on a whiteboard within your office. So the first thing I always like to point out is that I can easily drag and drop. That's going to go ahead and record progress of what's going on within that action. I also can open up this roles tab right here. And if I need to reassign any of the work, I can do that directly here. So down here, it looks like this particular action hasn't been assigned out yet. So I'm going to go ahead and just drag and drop, and that's going to give that off to Chris. So you've got that ability right here. Now, opening it up and looking at this action card, we'll just kind of walk through it so I can explain a little bit more in detail of what you're looking at. Your PAN number is a randomly assigned action ID number. I have my action, milestone, and project right here. These fields right here, you can completely customize using this cogwheel over here. So you're able to go through and you can completely change that view. There's two ways that you can do it. If you do it, leave it open, all of your users can individually go in and they can set the card however they like. If you do it from our control pad, which is also our administrator panel, then you'll be able to set that on an admin level. The advantage is everybody's looking at the same card and the same details around there. From here, you've got your action owner. I have access into Chatter feed, and within here you can see your action, milestone, and project. We'll also just continue down and keep working this list. Here I can build out a checklist item. So within here I can assign it, and I can say check with clients, something like that. And so you would be able to do that, and you would go ahead and just add that directly in here. From here, you also have the ability to log an issue directly within your issue manager. You can log time. or start and stop time tracking directly in the system from this, basically from your action within this action card. And then you can have access into your summary details. So that just opens up a lot of details around this specific action. Also from here, common use cases, as a project manager, I might come in and say, I need to see all of the actions that I'm responsible for working on. And the way that I could do that quickly and easily is I could come through here, leveraging this filter, and then I can come down through here and I would just be able to see everything that I would be responsible for, filter in here. And in this case, it's just one action within the project. So you're able to sort and filter that information quickly and easily. I'll also mention this has, within the whiteboard, this has something called persistent settings. And basically, however you set this up and leave it, when you come back in, it's going to remember it and it'll be set up the same way each time for you. And then finally, just to note, you can change your column headings or your summary fields just by this drop down. You're able to go through and do that quickly and easily as well. So again, as a project manager, I may come in and be able to log my time, or no, excuse me, I can log time directly from here, but I would just drag and drop to record progress of any actions that I'm working on within my project. Next, we've got our Gantt chart. So coming into it, it's fully interactive. If I needed to do or move anything that had come through, if I knew I needed to drag and drop, then certainly I would be able to do that directly within the project right here. I can extend any actions out. We've created the hierarchy here as your project at the highest in purple, next in blue, those are our milestones. In green, I have my actions. In between, I've got my dependencies already created, and I've identified, in this case, it's flagged up for critical path. If I needed as a project manager to make any changes, I can double click directly into the area. In this case, it's going to be the action of design wireframes, and I can make any updates directly in here. So again, if I needed to change the owner, access the resource assignment wizard, I can certainly do that. You can also change the priority here. Medium changes that to orange, high flags that up in red. So again, you have a lot of detail that can be added directly through here within the Gantt chart. In here, I also have the ability to turn on and off baseline dates to see how my project is performing. I can also export this to Microsoft Project as a PDF, as a CSV, and as a PNG export. Within here, if I needed to change anything, as long as inline editing, I can absolutely update directly within here. So we'll say design UI. I'm just going to put 1, 2, 3 just for our demonstration purposes. And so you've got that ability directly within here to make any updates, any changes in the system. You want to just go off and click save. If I needed to, let's say, add an additional action, that's going to be easy to do as well. You just go to the level above, in this case, the milestone, click plus, and now we're just going to do new action test here, and we'll just hit confirm, and that's going to add that directly within the project, and you just go off and save. So again, a really good visual way to take a look at the overall project and to go in and to log any type of information that I might need, whether it's against the action, the milestone, or the project level directly from this screen. So next we'll end, let's say that if this is my responsibility to help push out billing, and we've set this up so milestone billing has been achieved within this project. Essentially what that would mean is on the completion of a milestone, it would automatically trigger an invoice, and I've already done that for you. So you've got the ability in here where if I come in, I can see in this billing tab, my billing event summary, invoices, my project budget, the amount invoiced, your amount remaining, amount paid, and amount outstanding. So once that invoice has been created, I would just click in here, and I'm able to see the details around that. Let's go ahead and open up. Give me 1 second here. Let's click in here. Let's see that one. Let's give a quick refresh here and jump back in. So again, we're just going to come back into our billing tab. There we go. All right, so at the very bottom here, okay, let's try that one more time. Here we go. Sorry about that. Third or fourth time is a charm. My apologies there. You're just going to be able to click in there, and then you'll be able to see that invoice generated. So it's just telling what work and when the balance is due. And then you also have your invoice details around there, and you can add in your own logo. So again, that would be set up for your project managers if you wanted to have that automatically to be billed on the completion of a milestone. Next, as a project manager, I may want to take a look at my overall scheduler and what's going on. And that you can find that accessing it through the scheduler tab. And the purpose of the scheduler, this is going to be your resource capacity planning tool. So I would be able to come in and I could see all my resources on the left-hand side, and across the top, I can get a view from 1 day all the way up to 52 weeks. Through here, what you're looking at, these are going to be all the actions that are assigned to the individual resources based on the project work. So when you hover over, you're able to look at all of the action information that's associated there. And the way that you may want to leverage it is to come in and look at your hours total. As a project manager, I would want to know, do I have enough time to get across what I need to? In this case, I can quickly see if I'm over allocated. On the 28th, it looks like I am. And I can also look across other team members and see if I'm responsible for moving that information around, then certainly I could as far as the actions. If I'm not, then I would just be responsible for myself, and I could jump back in here and reassign some of that work. You're going to do that just by dragging and dropping. If I realize I'm going to need a couple of days, you would just extend that action out, and it's just going to divide, in this case, that 8 hours over the 29th and the 30th. So again, complete flexibility within here to move around those actions as needed. Also, you can see any type of holidays that you put into the system. We can also see any type of events from your Salesforce calendar. And the way that we determine if somebody's over allocated is actually going to be based on the individual roles. You put in hours per week and a billable target, and that's just a percentage of the hours per week. And then that's what's actually going to impact both on the scheduler and through the role utilization report if somebody's over allocated. Coming in here, a couple of other features. You can see through your hours detail tab, your billable, your non-billable work. I can also, again, see those holidays and any type of events pulling in through the Salesforce calendar. And then here you've got access into financials, so what each resource is billing out on that particular day and what's coming in. Also, I always like to mention right up here, again, you have the ability to set up your own preset filters. If there's a specific way that you want to see this, you can absolutely layer in different programs, projects, however you'd like to filter this information to pull in those relevant resources and then move that work around accordingly. You can do that directly through the filtering within there. You also have the ability to see a projects view. That's just going to roll up all of your actions into your projects. You're able to see through here. And then I also find it, or several of our clients find it helpful from the months view. That's just going to roll up and show you at a month's glance everything that's going on across all of your project work. So again, for resource capacity planning, our scheduler is a great space as a project manager to come in and leverage it. Next, after that, I may want to go in and take a look through our standalone Gantt chart. The difference is you have the Gantt chart on that single project. Through this view, right here, when you click on the tab, you're able to see multiple projects in one view. So again, it's going to have all the same functionality as the one from the project. I can turn on and off my baseline dates to see how my projects are performing, whether they're on track or not. I can extend out if I want to see a little bit more project detail around there. Certainly I can expand that. That's showing my action, or excuse me, that's showing my milestones. I can expand it again, and I can get all of the action information. And to me, again, one of the real powerful things within the Gantt chart is that you're able to go in and I can apply multiple filters. And I also have a lot of different ways to sort. So you can set up by category, and you would set up your own drop down of categories to sort through. You can I can sort through multiple projects. I can do this by project owner, or I could do it by several project owners, selecting the ones that I want. So you have a lot of detail around here. And as a project manager, I would be able to take a look on a higher level view of multiple projects in one view. Also, this would also apply if I was on a management level and wanted to see all my projects in one space as well. So from here, I've gone through, we've looked through the project, I've worked on that, I've jumped into my scheduler to see what's going on as far as if I needed to shift any work around. I've come back in here to look at all of my projects in one view, but now as a project manager, probably going to end my day by going in and wanting to log some time within the timesheets. So when you come into the timesheet, it's going to load up for that individual resource. And it's going to show all the actions that they've been assigned to on the project work over given, in this case, a week's time frame. So I'm able to come in and I can log time against a specific action. You have your milestone and your project right here. So we'll just go off and log some time. It's Wednesday. Let's put in and say that I worked an hour and a half here. I'm going to do a half an hour of non-billable within the build content page, and then we'll put in some time against the build homepage. Let's put in an hour. Now, when you put in that time, you can double click. That's going to open up your time log information. So build homepage, I'm just going to say worked on about us section, something like that. And then through here, you can set up your own time log types if you wanted to. Just to clarify what type of time you're logging within the system, go off and click save. All of that information is getting recorded down here for you. You also can change this view and either reduce it substantially to fit your needs directly through the timesheet settings. Again, you can leave it for an individual user, or you can do it across the board through the admin pad in the main console. And then through here at the end of the week, I would just go off and save and submit the timesheet within the system. And that's fine. It's saying suggested, I'm submitting less than the suggested hours within there. And so that's gone off for approval. That's going to be one way that you can log time. Additionally, you can leverage our calendar converter. This is going to give your users a few additional ways to do it. So there's 3 ways in here. One, it's going to pull through any type of Salesforce events from your Salesforce calendar. I'd be able to log time directly within the system that way. It's also going to pull through any actions from your projects that have been assigned. I can log time there. And then finally, the third way is I can just drag and drop. That's going to open up. And then I'm going to say, what project am I working on? What milestone? And then what action within here? And then I would put any notes. If I didn't need to clarify any notes, you just hit log time, and that's going to go and log time. It's exactly the same as using the timesheet, just a more visual way of doing that. And then finally, I always like to mention that we do have timesheet approvals within the system. So if I was responsible in looking at Ember's timesheet here, I can, in one click, approve all of her time. If I need to send something back, I can do that right here. I can also clarify from Chatter. So that takes you and shows you the timesheet. Now, kind of switching gears from being a project manager and basically a day in the life of, now I can show you from a management view some of the different reporting and dashboard functionality that we have within Mission Control. So I've already got this one opened up. This is going to be your PMO dashboard, and then we'll take a look at the revenue recognition. For your PMO dashboard, this is going to show you both your cost and your scheduled performance index. And then the way that it's done is you're going to come in here, you just click go. That calculates based on all of your project work. And I've just expanded this one, this Ohana Inc., and I'm able to see the milestones underneath there. And this is going to roll up for all of my projects in here and tell me if I'm on track or not for the overall projects. Anything less than 1, we say we would need improvement. So these projects would need improvement. Anything above 1, we would say it turns it into green, and we'd say those projects are on track. The next area is our revenue recognition report. So again, here, if I needed to, I could sort and I could go out a couple of months. I can sort this on a weekly or monthly basis and then just hit go. This is going to pull back all of my project data and instantly show me the revenue recognition, my profit and loss, and it's going to break it out, in this case, by each month and the project work underneath each one of those. Again, this also exists on the project level too. You've got your revenue recognition tab, as well as your PMO dashboard through the insights within the project as well. The PMO dashboard and the revenue recognition report, all of this is going to work out of the box for you. As soon as you run project data, it's already built, and you'll find that underneath the management pad. And then additionally, let's go back into that management pad here, and I'll show you this role utilization report. So here we're going to be looking at billable performance on a week-to-week or a monthly basis. I can search by teams or roles. I'm going to keep in with teams. And again, we'll just use the Easy Websites team. So here I might be wanting to look out a couple of months and see what demand or how my team is being utilized. And here we'll just, again, change that to monthly. All I do is hit go. That goes and looks at all the project work. Now that pulls back in, and it's going to give me my total hours, my billable hours, and then for each resource, it's going to show you what's billable, non-billable, anything that might be excluded, and any holidays within here. Down here for an individual resource, I can get what their utilization is, their billable performance, as well as their scheduled performance. And then looking at the very bottom, it's going to give you a team roll-up. So again, really helping you forecasting and planning of your team and your resources, and if your team is being fully utilized, or if you need to have any additional resources on there. And then the other thing I always like to mention within Mission Control is that any of your project data that you're building out, you can use standard Salesforce reporting and dashboard tools to build that information out. So in this case, I'll just go off and I'll show you a basic dashboard that we've built out. So this is just pulling off of the different reports within here. And let's go ahead, refresh this, give it a push. But essentially, you're just pulling in key information within your actual dashboard within Mission Control, leveraging those areas. So from here, I am going to go ahead. Let me give me 1 second here. And let's jump into a few questions from chat. And 1 more second. So now we'll jump into any questions that you've got from chat. Give me 1 more second to pull that info up real quick. All right, so one of the questions is going to be, are invoices editable, and are you integrated with QuickBooks? So you can manually create an invoice. So yes, you absolutely be able to do that. And then as far as QuickBooks integration, that is something that you could be set up with a third-party application such as Breadwinner, or you can find another one directly from the App Exchange, and you would essentially have that set up, that third-party app, map over the information through API integration, and then connect it in Salesforce over to your Mission Control data. So you could set it up to communicate back and forth within the system. All right, and then some other questions that I've got that have come in. Let's take a look here and see. Does everybody on my team need a Mission Control license just to complete a task? And if they are going to be leveraging Mission Control to complete tasks, then they would need a Mission Control license as well as a Salesforce license in that case. Let's see. If you didn't want to use the billing, can you hide it directly within the system? And the answer is going to be yes, you're able to hide it within the system. And again, the easiest way to do that in my mind would be to jump into the roles, and you would just uncheck that billing information directly from there. All right, next one looks like, does everyone need a Mission Control license to see the project information? No, if they don't need access into Mission Control to actually work within the project, we've got some notifications like our daily digest, a new action notification, our dependent action notification, or that weekly project status report. all of that you could share, and they would need to be a contact within our system, and then they would be an action owner, contributor on the project, and they would be able to receive any of those email notifications, and they wouldn't need a license of Mission Control. So you'd be able to share that information. If it was a weekly project status report, you would just build them out as a key stakeholder, and then you'd choose a day and a time, and that would automatically send out to them. And then we also have that customer read only link where you could send and share. They could also access project information in there and be able to work or be able to see what's going on within the project. Next one, can you easily clone a project? Yes, you can easily clone our project, and that would be directly from the main console. You just go into that first page, and then you're able to hit clone, and it's going to give you a drop down of any projects you've checked off on template to be able to see. You'd be able to easily clone that, and you can make any edits. So if you need to change anything, you can do that directly in there as well. Let's see, next one, how many licenses come with a free trial? That's going to be 5. So if you install into production, you have 5 free licenses to use, and that trial is going to be for 14 days. And then the final question that I'm seeing, unless anybody else has any other questions, is going to be around what's the quickest way to get started with Mission Control. That's going to be directly from the App Exchange. Just click Get It Now and download it, and it just takes a couple of minutes. So that's going to be the fastest way. You'll be sent over a quick start guide, and I've got a slide coming up where I'm going to explain that in a little bit more detail. All right, before I go, does anybody go on to the next slide? Does anybody have any other questions? If you do, please go ahead and leverage those into chat. Let's see. Will Mission Control work with Salesforce billing? So you should be able to connect over that information from your Salesforce billing into Mission Control since we're natively built. So the answer would be yes. All right. Well, if there are no additional questions, let me go ahead, and we've just got a few more slides within here. These are just our reviews. So we always encourage you to check out G2, also jump on the App Exchange, look at those reviews. If you have any questions around Mission Control, if you're in East Coast or Europe, you're going to be working with me directly. If you're on West Coast, you'll be working with Trevor. He's an awesome account. In with our sales team as well, so we'll be handling that way. But again, any questions that you might need, we just reach directly out to us after you've taken a look at our reviews. And then as far as how to get started with Mission Control, so it's going to be real easy. Again, you're just going to go directly to the App Exchange, click Get It Now. It only takes a couple of minutes to install, and you can install into production or a sandbox. And underneath the control pad, which is your administrator pad within the main console, you're able to click off Create Sample Data. That instantly gives you 2 projects for testing and the trial where you're able to do that. And then one of the things we always like to point out is, yes, it really does work out of the box. So it is easy to get going and started once you follow the quick start guide, which will also be sent as soon as you install. That's 12 pages of information, and it's the fastest way to get going, but really it does work out of the box for you. And then if you wanted to book a live demo, talk about your requirements, certainly you can reach out to me directly. I've got my email in the next slide, or you can reach us directly at that email address there, and we'll get you set up with an appropriate time and space to handle that demo. And then just to mention our support resources. So we have full resources online. Those are not gated. So if you wanted to go check those out, you certainly can. We have things like Learn Mission Control, which is an online learning portal. That's going to be very similar to Trailhead. We also have complete videos, a knowledge base, and then a user guide. As far as our support is concerned, you can always reach us at that email address. We'll get back to you within 1 business day. In most cases, that's going to be complete with the resolution. So know that you would be handled, and support's included with Mission Control from there as well. And the last one, I just wanted to say thanks again so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your time. I know everybody's busy. If you have any additional questions, anything else, I'll hang out for a couple of minutes. Feel free to toss that into the chat or the Q&A, and then I'll respond. Otherwise, we'll be sending a follow-up email with this recording and then some additional resources. But again, thanks so much, and I hope everybody has a great Wednesday.